The Dry Hooch mission, helping veterans and their families who survived the war, survive the peace.
Dry Hooch is a place where veterans can gather informally in a coffee house, a safe, comfortable, drug, and alcohol-free environment. Dry Hooch is a nonprofit organization formed by combat veterans to help veterans in their return home.
If you would like to know more about our nonprofit organization or to make a donation and make a difference in a veteran's life, please visit www.dryhooch.org.
I'm back here with Dan Newberry on a Monday. We've done a little interrogation action, asking about his married life, service, and his growth, and how he grew up.
Been a crazy little fucking journey. I mean, I have fucking stories for days, but I just, I don't know what to share. What, you know what I mean? It's like,
well, that's cool.
I've been on the weirdest fucking journey post service. Honestly, man, I'm like a little Forrest Gump, and I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude,
bro, I was an undertaker. Like I was embalming people, like 1,100 people total.
Damn,
I think something like that.
So we were just after, let's see, in a real chronological order, 2013.
Yeah.
You got out of the military 2012, right?
Yeah. So August 2012. And then my first job out of the service.
Also, you had Zoe. You gave birth.
Yeah.
Wife.
Yeah. Zoe was
Stephanie
born.
gave birth to
Zoe. Yeah.
And now, and then your first job. What was that really?
So I took a job for a company called Defender Direct, selling security systems, and I had to drive all over the place and install security systems to seniors that thought someone was gonna steal all their belongings. So it was like these $19 sensors you're selling these people for like $129.
It's a good market though.
Quite the racket. So but either way, I was like, it was an okay job, but it was hard. It was hard hours, and I had a baby, and I'd like just gotten out of the military. So I'm like, if I'm getting thrown out of the military, I'm not gonna like slave away to some meaningless cause.
Do you mind if so you were med boarded, correct?
Yeah.
And so you're basically able to be retired, kind of.
Yeah. So man, I was like, I took some serious downtime when I got out because I didn't know what I could do, what I couldn't do, because you're so used to be like being a profile or whatever. And when they tell you that, okay, you're service connected disabled, you're like, am I not allowed to like? But I'm like, I hurt, but like, can I go for a walk? So like, I just got fat, out of shape.
How fat?
Like my high is 275-ish.
275 at 6 foot.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I carry it like all in like the midsection. So like I would have like chicken legs. But, yeah.
You were just enjoying being able to put on the weight and.
Yeah, actually, I wasn't.
Oh,
I'm such an active person.
Oh, so you're hating yourself.
I am naturally a busybody. So it has nothing to do, like everyone, okay, look, man, like it's just who the fuck I am. It has nothing to do with vanity. It has nothing to do with anything. It's just I'm a busy person. Ask my mom. My mom will tell you, So like she would have to ground me from myself. You know what I mean? So so not being able to be active, not being able to go grapple and lift weights and do all the things I was doing initially sucked. Fucking sucked.
How long did you work at Defender Direct?
Not long. January of 13, I left that. I was unemployed for quite some time. And the job didn't pay well. It was a sales gig, so you really relied on that. And what you did make, you spent half in fucking gas. And then after that, I tried to get a job with ADT Corporate, and it was some weird like non-compete, and it made me essentially I lost both opportunities. So I stayed unemployed for 4 months, And that's when I started working for a funeral home.
Okay.
And it was actually around that time that I met Dry Hooch. And I needed suits, I remember. And there was my childhood friend introduced me to a girl that he had met out on the scene here. And she had worked for Dry Hooch. And she had referred me to the suit drive that was happening. And I used that suit as a black suit. And I used it to get job interview after job interview after job interview, to include the one that I got at Goodwill, was my first big career break.
Do you remember who else was your first connection with Dry Hooch, like actual employee?
No, it was no, that was her. Gosh, man, I gotta stop getting punched in the head and stuff. Honestly, as I get older, man, like I don't know what it is, but my fucking memory is just like it's not there.
Well, I think it is. You only have so much room in your head for chance. So
Yeah, it's Lisa is her name.
kind of get rid of the stuff that doesn't seem to matter.
Well, her name fucking certainly matters, and it's on the tip of my tongue. I feel terrible not being able to remember. Lisa Frigilia? Liz. Little Liz. Liz was her name.
I don't know. I have to go back and like
Liz,
check it
something
out.
like that. Little, yeah. She had, she survived a terrible car accident. Truly inspiring story she has, actually.
Was she a veteran herself, or just?
I think her family member. She had a family of, yeah. But yeah, she would actually be one to talk to. She did a lot of work in there. She's out in New York now, actually.
So, what was your big job you landed with your black suit?
Goodwill.
Goodwill. How long did you work at Goodwill? Position there.
So I got my first interview. I went in. It was the black suit, and then the second one. They gave me the second one. I went and got one from Target because he couldn't wear the same suit twice. Ric Flair taught me that. So yeah. And then got a big corporate. So I became actually like, yeah, like Goodwill was like one of those, that was one of those opportunities where it's like, oh shit, I've got skills outside of the military. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, just because I finally figured out how to articulate what I learned in the service.
I remember meeting you at Goodwill.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had my cutoff shirt. That's how
I know. It was nobody cares. Well, here's the thing: no one would have cared because there's a workforce connection center. So no one you could have been coming in from a construction job.
Yeah.
And for me, I certainly didn't care. So it was like, you know.
And like somebody in the office said something about cussing too much.
Oh yeah, I did get lit up. Yes. Oh wait, yeah, that my boss. Oh, he did care. That's right. That's right. I forgot about that. Well, HR didn't care.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, dude. I had a boss. I tell you, you don't know until you've been through it, until you self-reflect and everything. And I had a leader there. He was just not a good leader, and he would, once he saw the work that I was putting in to be, the corporate world's weird. He was very much about his position. And so he would find little things and nitpick. No one else cared. We serve everyone at Goodwill.
Mm-hmm. But that was the kind of way that he would like, that would make his day as he found something.
He would find something.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of like the Army, where there was nothing wrong, but they'd make sure that they'd find
Well, he was a failed Marine. He didn't make it out of boot camp.
Yeah. So
but
he was trying to compensate for the.
But he would tout the Marine Corps all the time. But he never made it out of boot. And here I am, 2 deployments to Iraq.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of like, shut up, dude.
So how long did you work at Goodwill?
I left there in 2019. So it was 2017 to 2019. I got, I left on my own. So I wasn't like getting fired or nothing. And then I went to Direct Supply as a project manager and I learned all kinds of cool stuff.
You're just going to skip over the whole 22 fitness thing. So,
wow. Well, it's ongoing.
So how did you get involved with that in the first place? Like,
know
know what?
man, I gotta. It's I just fuck. So when I got out of the service, and there was that time where I was unemployed and I was trying to find work, and I ended up working at the funeral home, so I was making like $10 an hour picking up dead bodies. So it wasn't lavish. I was living in a funeral home, 2-bedroom apartment. We didn't make a lot of money. So super fucking depressed all the time. Like I didn't know where I belonged. I was trying to get jobs, and I was literally told I wasn't worth $13 an hour.
Ah, fuck. Who told you that?
And I was a manager at Woodman's grocery store in Oak Creek.
Yeah, fuck.
I was applying for like a supervisor role. And at those days, at those times, I don't think he meant it the way he said it, but I definitely took it the way he said it.
Yeah.
But I honestly, like, that was a moment where it was like nobody even understands what the last almost 10 years of my life was like, or valued the education that I did get in the service. Because you get an education. You can get an education anywhere. The streets.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, there's a lot of, like, there's a gap, cultural gap. So then I remember, like, I went to the VFWs and the American Legions, kind of looking for a new community there. And I was, like, kind of outcasted. Like, I had a veteran in an American Legion in my hometown tell me that I didn't go to a real war and, kind of thing. So I could tell that the millennial vet, the GWAT vet wasn't the priority. So I, kind of, as a person that came out of because I'm one of those people that still thrive on community. I thrive on it. That's what I loved so much about the military, was that no matter what, I had a community. And that's what I like to give, and it's just who I am. But so 22 Fitness came about. I joined a motorcycle club briefly for like a year. It was one of those little offshoot, nothing crazy, but bunch of old men that watched Sons of Anarchy. Became a
what motorcycle club was it? Oh, not gonna say. I got you.
So I joined a club that they actually subsequently grew to be something substantial. So I'm just going to leave it alone.
Gotcha.
Right. But no, like, it was initially when it started, it was a bunch of older guys that were into kind of families and barbecues. But then as the club grew and influences changed, it was not for me. And that's just how it went. And I got out peacefully. There was no issues. There's none of that.
Did they have a lot of other vets in the club?
No, I was the only one, but it connected me to other, like, veteran organizations. And so it did lead me to a great veteran organization. And, still do work for them. Essentially my older brother's best friend was a Marine, served in Desert Storm, and he joined a veteran group. So I was able to kind of transition from, like, a civilian club to, like, a military organization that was more suited for what I needed.
Cool. So did you find 22 Fitness online?
No, I started it. So 22 Fitness was my thing that I came up with. It was a 22-minute calisthenic class that essentially I just smoked people like you would in the military as an NCO. And we'd sing it all together. We'd do, like, little obstacle courses, so all in cadence. And it was a free class. So the idea of the class was to get veterans and civilians to work out together. So I would go to these gyms absolutely free. And then I would invite veterans in the community and the members of that gym to work out with vets. So, and how I did it was t-shirts.
Gotcha.
So I started marketing t-shirts first. So I did this little class. It started at Southbridge Athletic Club, but I did that to cope with loss. So I started 22 Fit to cope with loss. One, I didn't know, I was still mourning the loss of my military career because I really didn't, I was so fucking bitter about it, man. Because I was like, finally getting there, you know. And then, my brother took his life. You know,
What year was this?
2015. So, like, the one thing I can tell you about that is like, I love the brotherhood of the military, right? And because I loved being a big brother. So when Willie was adopted, he became the little brother. So I loved being a big brother. Loved it. He loved the fact I was in the military. He couldn't because he had a learning disability. So, but he had his own rough life. He had a rough life just because of, you know, his skin color. And he was in, you know, a white family. So he had his own.
How old was Willie when he came to live with you guys?
We got him when he was 11 days old. Oh, man. So, yeah, he didn't know any different.
And how old were you when Willie came?
We're 5 years apart, so 5. So yeah, pretty. I was going through my own mental health battle because I was realizing I was in this like motorcycle organization that was like I was doing nothing, man. I was sitting in bars, riding motorcycles. Like I wasn't doing anything productive. I was working all the time. Like when I wasn't working, I was like not doing anything productive, smoking cigarettes and drinking beer at a bar stool.
Yeah.
Around a bunch of like middle-aged dudes that weren't really doing anything either. You know? So it was like, it was really.
You were trying to find a sense
yeah,
of
and then it'd be
community and
told you're not
purpose.
worth this amount of money,
Yeah.
and I'm stuck lugging around dead bodies. I had no purpose. None. Like I couldn't figure out how to provide for I couldn't figure out how to get my family out of that fucking funeral home. And like, so realizing that my service was done, no one gives a fuck what you did or cares. So it was like, that was a weird time. That was a hard time.
What year did you start work at Goodwill?
2017. So 22 Fit was the catalyst to everything. So I did a 22-mile walk. Then that went viral. That was right after I left that motorcycle organization. I had a big old beard and everything. I was in the CVMA. And then I started the fitness class. My friend Mario was like, hey, what, you know, we're talking along the walk. And he's like, you should start like a fitness class or something. I did. And I just went on. And then I met Lift for the 22.
Hold on, can I interrupt you?
Yeah.
For something? Because I think it's really like means something. Is one time I asked you what you carry around in the ruck, and so what do you carry around in your ruck when you did a 22?
My brother's belongings.
Yeah, and you'd never taken them out, and even to this day, you haven't taken out his
No,
belongings.
it's all there.
Yeah, for me that would be pretty heavy. So I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
I
that's
just thought
all
it
right.
was something. That
No,
was
it's
like
to this day.
You know, it's part of your like ceremonial thing.
Yeah, you know, I always add to it. You
Yeah.
know, always add to it. You know, I got little artifacts from service and stuff. But
So then it was a 22-mile walk.
yeah,
And then right after the 22-mile walk, that's when you started 22 Fitness.
yeah, and it was very low key, man. It really was. We started this little racquetball court, and it really was just a Facebook event, you know. And then I was like, well, how can I get vets to this class? And I saw that grunt style was popular.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple other brands were coming out. And I was like, well, seems like a good time to always, you know, I always had some ideas. And then I launched a green unbreakable shirt. And then it's been a wild ride since.
All right, Dan. So I think what we'll do is we'll pause, kind of like go over some stuff and see if you'd like to add, or we'll see if we can explore some stuff later, or
Sure.
or we'd like to. But yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.